Today, what I'm doing is on this 2019 Honda Pilot, I got to do the rear brakes. I'm going to be returning this car soon, but I do not feel like paying them to do the rear brakes for like $1,000. When using Rock Auto stuff, I can replace the brake pads and the rotors for like 150 bucks. It's just going to take me a little bit of time. So at minimum, what you're going to want to have is, well, a torque bar to put the wheel back on. Not absolutely necessary, but I like to use them. Jack stand. I can't find my breaker bar, so I'm using a ratchet with an extension. Hopefully I don't break the ratchet. It happens. Oh well. I've got an impact driver. That's great for getting the rotor off. You're going to need a 12mm socket or wrench. I've got both set of pliers and a screwdriver. 17mm, 22mm to take off the lug nuts. And if you have locks, find your lock key. Mine was in a little baggie in the glove compartment. And that's about it for the startup. Now I'm just going to, well, obviously you need a jack because you can't do it with it on the ground. But break the lugs first and jack it up. Use a jack stand. I will show you where I put the jack stand under. And we'll go from there. Okay, here we are. We're all jacked up. And I've got a jack under there, under a support area that's stronger. And the jack is also, by the way, under an area that's designed for jacking. I got a 12mm ratchet on there, and I just have to take off 2 bolts. They go into pins. Sometimes you have to hold here with a, let's see, can I get it? Yeah. Sometimes you have to hold here with pliers because it'll start to spin with these. I haven't seen that thus far, but you never know. It might happen. So this one, I already loosened up a little bit, so it's coming out finger tight. It's always nice working on stuff that's pretty new. So there's that one. And the other one. Now that those are out, this can come off. What I like to do is just put it up on top here, so I'm not stretching out the hose. I don't have to hang it or anything. I just put it up there. Boom, done. And then you can take off these brake pads. These are done. I mean, they're just about down to the well, they're not quite down to the indicator, but they're pretty close, right? So get off of there. Come on, let go. Oh, and there we are. They're off. Now to get the rotor off, I have to take off this piece, which that's why I need the I'm pointing at it now. 17mm to take out these 2 bolts. And that should do that. Caliper bracket's off after getting those 17 mils off. Now I just need to take the rotor off. Now the bolt in the center is not what you need to take off. You need to take off this, and this rubber here is covering yet another screw. So we have to take this off, and that's what I'm going to be using that tool for, because it's a good thing. The other thing you might want to have is a hammer, because that's how those work. I'll show it to you. Right, so what you're doing is you gotta like turn it a little bit and then whack it with something. I'm just going to use my old ratchet here because it's pretty much broken already anyway. I didn't break it just now. It doesn't hold anything anymore. So you got to kind of turn it a little bit and then go. All right, to explain what's going on here, I'm trying to take off this. Now that I got out that screw, the rubber piece was not hiding anything. I don't know why. I've seen it hide over another screw, but not on this one. Thing is, inside of here is going to be a emergency brake, and although the emergency brake's not on, the brake pads are kind of hanging up. So what I'm doing here is just banging it. You can see that this has only got a little bit out, and this has a lot. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting it back and forth. It's coming off more and more. I'm not going to make you watch that, but it's a pain in the ass. And here we are, old next to new. Obviously, the old ones look kind of trashed. Here's a picture of the emergency brake things. They look fine. I don't think they start off with that much meat anyway, because it's not like you use your emergency brakes all the time. It's kind of funny that they use drum brakes on an old disc car. All right, so now that I got the screw back on, tightened, I hit it a couple of times. That should be good. I got the rubber grommet back in here. I think this is mostly to keep it clean inside here, keep the dust inside and you know, garbage out. But it also might be for an adjustment. Next, we're going to just reassemble. 2 17s, 2 12s, new pads. I'll probably show you where I grease those. So from experience, I don't generally change these little metal retaining clips, unless they look worn out. These look absolutely fine, so I'm going to leave them alone. I've had new ones that were just a little bit off because they weren't perfectly manufactured, and well, there's really no sense in it, right? The only thing I do make sure I do is get the little lube on the sides that slip in there, and when I have a brush, I do like to clean those up. These don't look that bad, so I'm just going to leave them alone, but you can see the goo on the side. I goo both sides, and then I generally try to do something on the back where the caliper hits it, but these are really the important ones, because that's where it can start squeaking on you. These pliers to squeeze the single piston back, and then I just slip that back on. Pretty simple process. You just have to kind of hold the brakes together because of those clips that are on there. They kind of spread them apart. But other than that, I just have to stick this thing, 12 millimeters back in, and throw the tire on, torque it, and we're good to go. 94 pound-feet. So it only took me about 8 minutes. So 8 minutes. So I figure, maybe an hour to take me all together, including going to get my tools, the jack, buying the stuff. And, ultimately I don't make $400 an hour, so this was money well spent.